What's going on, man? Y'all know what to do. Come in, drop a comment in the chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from. What's going on? Hope everybody is doing well. Hope everybody doing well. Y'all come on in, man. I want to talk about food today. You know, I done been I done been down some rabbit trails today, or some, you know what I'm saying, some rabbit holes today, especially on TikTok and stuff like that, man. And just seeing a lot of, and I've been, known this stuff, and been kind of went down this rabbit trail before. But man, when it comes to our food source in this country, man, it's so polluted, it's so corrupt, and man, it's just crazy. But let's talk about that. If y'all coming in, man, hit that like button, drop a comment in the chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Hope everybody having a great day, great Monday. Y'all know what to do. Drop a comment in the chat, hit that like button. Let me know where you're tuning in from. But I want to talk about our food source, man. I want to talk about, just let me know if I'm back, y'all. Let me know if I'm back. Let me know if I'm back. Man, y'all drop a comment in the chat, man. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Let me know where y'all tuning in from. All that good stuff. All that good stuff. Hey, what's going on, the off-grid trucker? I see you on that grill. Oh, you talking about from our Facebook, my Facebook reel? Yeah, man. Yeah, I get on that grill sometime, man. That's why I can't wait till, it start warming up. That's when I like to get on that grill. But yeah, man. Okay, so y'all can see me, y'all can hear me, all that good stuff. But I want to talk about our food source because, like, I'm telling you, like, it's wicked. It's wicked, man, especially in this country. And this is why I'm a advocate, a spokesperson for growing your own food. At least ethically sourcing it at the very least, but growing your own food, knowing where your food comes from, because most of the food that we go buy from off the shelf in the supermarket or whatever, we don't know where that food comes from. We don't know how it's been sourced. We don't know how it was raised. We don't know the conditions. We don't know any of that. You know what I mean? So I want to talk about food today. And see, this is the thing, right? When it comes to food, the majority of people, especially in this country, they don't even really know what food is. Like, they think something in a bag or something that done came out of a freezer that's been ultra processed is considered food. They think Hot Pockets and pizza rolls is food. They think chips and cookies and all that is food. That ain't food, man. Those are processed, edible things that have been so heavily processed, but you're able to eat it. And yes, it's edible, but it's not food. You and the fam have to come to the Ozark so I can show you what the smoker like with that. Ooh, okay. For sure, man. Yeah, I would love that. I would definitely love that, man, for sure. That cherry wood, I already know. But if y'all just coming in, man, hit that like button. Also, drop a comment in the chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from. We talking about food today. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't gonna lie, sometimes you get to scrolling on TikTok or YouTube or, a lot of these social media platforms, you get to see, a lot of, like, information, like a lot of conspiracies or just a lot of different things, but you're able, a lot of people come with a lot of knowledge and insight, especially like people who don't work fast food or who don't work in these butchery shops, or who, have worked in places where they've seen the food supply and what it truly goes through. Y'all hit that like button for me, man. Please hit that like button for me. But yeah, so like I was saying, like, especially like the average American growing up, we're thinking food is, oh, you go to a restaurant and whatever they serve you, that's food. No, real food is what grows out of the ground, or what you can harvest from an animal. It doesn't have all these ingredients and ultra processing. It don't go through all of that. Real food doesn't go through all of that. You see what I'm saying? Real food, is simple ingredients. You don't have to read the back, and you don't know how to pronounce a lot of this stuff because it's been so heavily processed. That isn't food. Those are just things that are edible. You feel what I'm saying? Those are things that are edible, that you're able to put in your mouth. It tastes good. You can chew it, you can swallow it, and you can digest it. But that doesn't make it food, because you get very little nutritional value from that, from a lot of these ultra processed things. And look, I ain't perfect. I ain't saying that, oh, I don't eat chips or processed stuff. But what I'm saying is, we have to get serious about our food. Let me know if I'm making sense in the chat. We have to get serious about our food source, man, because one of the main, and this is my first point. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, I got 5 points that I want to talk about, right? And of course, y'all know what to do in the chat. Y'all free to join in, all that type of stuff. But my first point is this: they profit off of our ignorance and lack of intention when it comes to food. So who is they? Hey, Go over there. Y'all, hey, be careful over there with that wood now. But yeah, so they profit off of our ignorance. They profit off of our ignorance and lack of intention when it comes to our food source. When it comes to us, buying food, when it comes to us, eating out of these fast foods and stuff like that, they profit off of our ignorance. They know most people not gonna pick up and read the labels. All they gonna see is, 100% ground beef, or, grass-fed this, or pasture raised this, or, Dorito this, or whatever. They just gonna look at the front of the bag or the front of the package. Most people ain't gonna turn around the back of it and look up, the ingredients or nothing like that. So they profit off of that. They know, okay, if we market it well enough, if we package it up to the point where it looks healthy or it looks appealing, you feel what I'm saying? If we package it up like that, then most people are not gonna question it. Now, you got some people who will, but most people won't. Most people just gonna take it, they gonna take it at face value. And that's how they profit. That's how they profit, right? Like, it's just crazy, man. Like when it even like fast food, like they know most people, when it comes to buying a lot of this fast food and stuff like that, they know most people not gonna do the research and say, well, where does this restaurant, 140, hey, for sure, 144K subscribers, chosen for sure. What's going on, Bree? What's going on, fam? But let me know if that makes sense, y'all. Let me know if I'm making sense. But when it comes to like even the fast food stuff, right? Here, Kamar, go get your mama to fix your skirt. When it comes to fast food and everything like that, most people are not going to Google these companies and see where they source their chicken from for their chicken sandwiches, or where they source their beef from, or, all this. They're not going to do that. They're not going to look up the ingredients that is used in a lot of this stuff. They just going to go to the drive-through line and they're going to order fries and a burger or a chicken sandwich, or, whatever it is that is offered, and they're gonna go based off of the face value of what has been marketed. Oh, this is 100% fresh, never frozen, all this stuff. But they never gonna do the due diligence of, going and looking up what is actually in these, what preservatives have they put in this, what process did it go through? You feel what I'm saying? They're not gonna look all that up. They're not gonna look up all the ingredients that go in this chili or this macaroni and cheese or this chicken. They're not gonna look at that. And so corporations have been able to profit. Hey, shout out to Kentucky. What's going on, Marcellus? Shout out to Kentucky. What part of Kentucky you in, man? I love Kentucky, especially Louisville. I done spent some time out there in Louisville, Fort Knox area, but shout out to Kentucky, though. I love Kentucky. But, that's how they have been able to profit. They've been able to make, a ton of money. They've been able to, hey, shout out to NYC. What's up, Jay? Shout out to NYC, man. But I drove through New York one time, man, never again. If you gonna go to New York, do not drive. The traffic is crazy. But anywho, they have profited off of that, because all they know is they just need to market it the right way. It needs to be in some good packaging. He talking about facts. Yeah, you know I ain't lying, man. All you hear is beep, beep, beep. That's all you hear driving through New York. Beep, beep, beep. Man, driving through New York, because we was driving to Connecticut, right? We was going up to New Haven, and we drove through New York, and literally, like, to get, 4 miles up the road, up the highway, it took us like 3-4 hours. So I would definitely not recommend driving through New York. Louisville, okay, so you're from Louisville. Shout out to Louisville, man. Love Louisville. Love Louisville. Been to the Slugger Museum, all that type stuff. But shout out to Kentucky. But yeah, so like they have been able to profit because they know all we got to do is market it well, make it appealing, make the packaging look a certain way, and use certain catchphrases and buzzwords to make people feel like, oh, this healthy. You know what I mean? And so they've been able to do that. And then long term, of course, it affects our health. Of course, this is why diseases are rising and all this type of stuff, different cancers and diabetes and high blood pressure, because of a lot of these ingredients that people don't do their due diligence in checking. Like maybe like 5 years ago, or yeah, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, me and my wife, we got super intentional about our food, right? And even when we wasn't, like, say for instance, like, okay, yeah, we probably going to the grocery store to buy meat or, different ingredients and stuff like that. We started reading labels. We started reading labels because I'm going to tell you something, especially if you are a person who doesn't eat pork, or you say you don't eat pork, you'll be surprised that it's pork in a lot of different things that you might not know about. What's going on, Tommy? What's going on, fam? You might not realize that you have been eating pork unintentionally, right? You say you don't eat pork, but if you eating Skittles, you eating pork. If you eat anything with gelatin that is not sourced from a vegetable type of of gelatin or a beef type of gelatin, like even from the supplements you may take, the capsules, a lot of those are derived from pork-based products. That's why, like, even when it came to me like buying supplements, I would call the company and say, hey, do you use beef or do you use pork gelatin for the casing for the supplements? Because you got to ask that type of stuff, because you will be eating pork and not even realize it. And that's why it's important to be super intentional about your food. Doritos nachos. Wow, I didn't know that. But yes, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no telling everything. Like one product that I didn't know had pork in it was the Jiffy cornbread mix. A lot of people are like, well, it's just cornmeal. No, they use lard in it. And the lard comes from what? Pig fat. Stop stepping on that. It's nails in that. And go put some shoes on. How you doing in this fine day? Oh, I'm doing good. I'm doing good, Tommy. I appreciate you, man. How you doing? I'm doing well, you know, but I want to chop it up with y'all because I'm like, man, we have to, and you know, I'm gonna advocate this. I'm gonna advocate for this, man, you know, until I die. Be intentional about what you're putting in your body. I know we've been taught that food is something that's supposed to give us pleasure, and you know, you want to have this whole experience when it comes to food, and you want it to always taste good, but no, food is literally fuel. It's literally fuel. You know, when it's all said and done, when it's digested, your body takes from it what it can, and it places it here, places it there, or it uses it for energy. Carbs break down into, you know, sugars and different things like that. Like your body breaks down your food. It breaks down your food and it uses it for fuel. And when you eat an excess of food, then your body will store the extra just in case of a time of famine or drought where you don't have access to food. That's why it's important to fast. You know what I mean? Because especially, you know, when you know you've been eating a lot, it's important to fast so your body can deplete, you know, that food storage, or a lot of that fat that's been stored up in your body. Everything good costs ion exchange. I think the Holy Spirit is moving so frequently over God's people regarding food. Yes, we're all waking up and being more mindful of how our food is made, grown, sourced. Exactly. It's Detroit J. Exactly. Yes, like I feel like it is the Holy Spirit. I feel like, you know, a lot of people are waking up just to a lot of stuff, food mainly, but just a lot of stuff in general. How we've been, especially in this country, how we have been programmed, because we have been programmed. You know, let's just be honest. We have been programmed. Everybody has been programmed, you know, to some degree. Now, yes, you can deprogram and start to think for yourself, but largely in part, your formative years, you have been programmed, whether it's through TV, propaganda, media, school, you know, all of this type of stuff. We've been programmed. But yes, a lot of people are waking up. But there's a lot of different products that you don't know that pork is in. So if you claiming you don't eat pork, right? Whether you Hebrew, Muslim, or you just, you know, eat out the dietary laws, or you just don't want to eat pork, there's a lot of products that have pork in it, whether it's from the gelatin, you see what I'm saying? And it's mainly the gelatin, but it's also like the lard, the different pig fat and all that type of stuff. So you got to be careful, you know what I mean? But a lot of, like most of the time, they count on us being ignorant about our food source. They count on us not looking at the back of the labels to see what all is in this. You see what I'm saying? They count on us not doing that. They count on us just saying, oh, Hot Pockets, look at that. They got a new flavor of Hot Pocket. Or they just came out with a new flavor of Doritos or whatever. And then, like, man, like I say, like around like 4 or 5 years ago, me and my wife got super intentional, and we started looking at a lot of these ingredient lists and seeing what was in there and saying, man, I didn't know that they use yellow 5 and it. Like, I went to Kroger probably like a month ago to get some pickles. And like I'm just looking at the different brands, and I turn them over and I'm like, why does pickles, like, just that's supposed to be cucumbers and vinegar and dill and all that, it's just supposed to be just natural ingredients. Why do they have yellow 5? Why do they have all these different preservatives and additives in it? This wine is not fine. For sure. Our people perish for a lack of knowledge. Exactly, we do. And literal, that's literal. Our people literally perish from a lack of knowledge. Our people literally are perishing from a lot of these different health issues and things like that because we lack knowledge. And don't get me wrong, for a long time, didn't I tell you be careful, that got nails in it? Get from over there by that wood. But like for so long, like we weren't able to really have any say-so over that. But now that we're in the age of information. We have Google at your fingertips. If you looking at something, you looking at an ingredient, you can literally Google it and see what that is. You probably might not even be able to pronounce it, but if you just look up, you can Google it. That's how easy it is nowadays. So there is no reason to not know what you're putting inside your body. So we have to be super intentional about that, because we can't count on the powers that be or the experts or whatever to have our best interests at heart, when all they are seeking is your dollar. All they're seeking is profit. They're not seeking anything else but your dollar. They make a product and they try to preserve it for as long as possible so they can maximize on their, on their profits. That's literally what it is. And when you realize that they don't care, about your health or your well-being, stop doing that. When you realize they don't care, you start to be more intentional, because you realize that, hey, if I don't take care of me, if I don't take care of my family, they won't do it. So we have to get intentional about that. We have to. Oh, this is another point, because I was watching a video today on TikTok, right? Time out. Go to timeout. Man, these kids, I'm telling you. But I was watching a video on TikTok, right? And like, there was this guy, right? He was taking a video of like these garbage, these garbage cans that had what I just told you. Time out. In the house. He had these garbage bins full of just like different kind of meats, like, pork chops, ribs, chicken, just a lot of different assortment of meats. And he was talking about what a lot of butcher shops and, things do, and even stores, grocery stores, where, they don't throw out meat when it's old. They don't throw it away. What they do is they give it to a third-party company, and that third-party company will mix it up and mash it up together and make different meat products out of it, whether it's the hamburgers at these restaurant chains or these hot dogs or a lot of these different mystery meats, bologna, minced meats, all that type of stuff. They will literally mix all this meat together, and they will sell it they'll market it or sell it as a certain product. So where you thinking, oh, this just, hamburger meat. No, if you look at it, because like even like when you buy chicken at the store, it'll say on some cases, it'll say contains rib meat. You see what I'm saying? So it's like different things like that. You got to pay attention. But I was watching that, and he was just explaining like most of the meats and stuff that you get these burgers and stuff from your Wendy's or Burger Kings or McDonald's. Like, they market it as 100% ground beef, but literally there's loopholes, and this is literally not 100% ground beef. This is mystery meat we're eating. A lot of times with a lot of this food we eating, and not just the meat, but even a lot of these packaged foods and ultra processed things, we don't know what we're truly eating. These snacks and stuff that we're buying, we don't know what's all in it unless we take the time to research these ingredients that's on the back, right? So he was just saying like, yeah, like this is basically what happened. So like, imagine meat that's going bad, that's starting to smell, you know what I'm saying? They don't throw that meat away. They don't just give it to dogs and nothing. No, they literally sell it to a third party, and that third party, they take it through a processing, they process it, they ultra process it, and they put all these preservatives and chemicals in it, and they make whatever product it is, whether it's your burger, whether it's your hot dog, whether it's your bologna, whatever meat product it is, that's a mixture of all different kind of meats that was about. Well, we've been eating that. I ain't gonna just say you, because it's me too. We've been eating that. We've been buying it hook, line, and sinker. We ain't even been questioning it, man. Oh, this burger so good. Like I remember, man, this was probably last year. My fault. I had to load this tray. Oh no, you good, fam. You good. Roast chicken. Yeah. It was about a year ago, right? I was driving from Jacksonville, and I was coming back home, and I was hungry. I ain't ate nothing, so I'm like, man, I'm gonna stop and get something quick. But where do I want to go? And like, I don't eat at McDonald's. Me and my family, we don't eat at McDonald's no more at all. Cut McDonald's out, just totally out. But I was like, man, I'm gonna stop the Wendy's, because Wendy's, they advertise the fresh, never frozen and stuff like that. So I'm like, I think the best option is Wendy's. So I stopped the Wendy's, right? And I bought a burger. I forget what burger, but I bought a burger anyways. And so I started eating this burger, and it was good. But not even 5 minutes later, man, I started throwing it up just out of nowhere. I started throwing it up. My body didn't agree with it, and it made me feel so queasy, and it was just like sudden. And I'm like, man, that's a sign, man. And ever since then, I stopped you know, eating a lot of these different fast food places and stuff like that, because I'm like, ain't no telling what, you know, ain't no telling what this meat was made out of. Like, they market it as this, but ain't no telling, because they could literally lie to you. They lie to us all the time. So we have to be intentional, man. We have to be super, super intentional about what we're putting into our body. You see what I'm saying? They will literally feed you scraps for profit, and they'll charge you top dollar for it. They will feed you scraps and things that was about to go bad and all these different things that's harmful to your health, and they'll make you pay top dollar for it. That's the crazy thing about it. They gonna make you pay, like, they'll market it, oh yeah, these are pasture raised eggs, right? And they'll make you pay top dollar for it, because you thinking, oh, these better than the regular eggs, but really they not. They no different. As a matter of fact, they might be worse than the regular eggs that you could just buy for a cheaper price. So they make you pay top dollar for stuff that you don't even know what's truly in it, right? So, like, man, we gotta like, when we understand the game, when you start to open up your eyes and start to critically think and start to think for yourself, you'll see, like, man, I have to have my best interest at heart, because nobody else will. Because everybody else is just after either my time, my energy, or my money. You see what I'm saying? That's it. All they see us as is dollar signs, right? If they can't profit no more off of us from, like, a lot of these processed foods and the fast food, then they can profit off of us from the pharmaceutical industry, because then they can prescribe all of these different medicines and all this stuff to us that's just going to keep us sick, but it's going to kind of draw out, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of, it's going to target the symptoms, but not the root cause, right? So we just dying slower. That's all it is. And then when we die, they going to profit off of that too. So when you understand that you're nothing but just another cog in the wheel, when you're just a dollar sign, you know what I'm saying? They've already placed an amount on what you're worth as a person, as a human being. They've already done that. When you realize that and you say, man, you know what? Let me start being more intentional and not just, you know, being a pawn in their game. Do you raise livestock, raise chickens from time to time? Yes, I do. Chicken, sheep, turkeys, goats, you know, I've raised it all pretty much, except for cattle and, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, like sheep, goats, chickens, turkeys, I've raised them. I want to get into quail as well. I want to get into quail and also guinea fowl. I want to get into both of those as well, which is, you know, it's coming in due time. But yes, you know, we raise livestock, we raise, you know what I'm saying, we do gardening and all that type of stuff, have fruit trees, all that type of stuff. But yes, so, like, man, we have to be intentional, right? And a lot of times we don't even know what we're putting in our body a lot of the times, which is scary to think about. Like, you literally putting something in your mouth. Just imagine how mad you get. Like, those of us who have, can I get some goat? What you mean? What you mean? Okay. Okay. I'll read it in a minute, all right?
Okay.
All right, I'll read it in a minute.
Okay.
But, like, think about, especially those of us who have children, right? If you ever, like, your toddler, and matter of fact, I got on my toddler about this today. Like, my son, for some reason, he like to just pick stuff up off the ground and put it in his mouth. And we you know, get on our children about that. Why you doing that? Why you doing that, right? But we literally do the same thing as adults. We'll go to a grocery store and we'll literally buy a bag of this, go heat it up, or, you know, however you prepare it, and put it in your mouth, and you don't even know what that is. We get on our children about that, but we do it. Shoot me an email, Jay Willis, sapgardens1@gmail.com, or either dre@setapartgardens.com. Either one of those emails, shoot me an email, right? But we get mad at our children for putting an unknown substance in their mouth, but we as adults do that. We as adults do that every day. And that's just the craziest thing to me. That's the craziest thing. If y'all watching, man, please hit that like button. Please hit that like button. But does that make sense though? Y'all stop fighting. That blows my mind. And look, I had to look at it like that. I'm like, man, we literally get mad at our children for putting stuff in their mouth, but literally we go out every day and go to these stores or wherever you buying this stuff from, or this restaurant or whatever, and you're literally digesting something that you don't even know where it came from. You don't even know how many hands that it's touched before it got to you. Because like, for instance, you may just go to Chick-fil-A, get a chicken sandwich, right? And you don't realize, hey, that chicken that's on that chicken sandwich, even the buns, but let's just talk about the chicken in that chicken sandwich. You don't know how many hands it's touched before it touched your hand. You might be the 10th person that has touched this, because you had the cook that touched it, you had the person that dropped it off that touch, and I ain't saying literal touch, but I'm just saying like they've handled it. You see what I'm saying? At some point. So it started off as a chicken, right? It started off as a chicken. So that means somebody was handling it from a baby, well, from an egg to a baby, right? To growing up, feeding it every day, to slaughter, you know, that's somebody else handling it. Slaughter, packaging, all that stuff. That we don't know how many hands it's touched before it even got past before it even got to Chick-fil-A. We don't know how many hands that it's been through. You see what I'm saying? It had to be transported from somewhere. So that's somebody, you know, taking it, whether it's a truck or a plane, or maybe both, a truck and a plane. They've taken it, so it's been handled, and it's been through all these different hands before it's touched your hands. We don't realize that. We don't realize that. That's why we have to be super intentional. And again, I ain't saying, oh, don't never go eat fast food and don't never do this, but I'm just saying be more intentional and aware of what you're putting in your body. Because we get surprised when we get the doctor reports that saying, well, we found this or this happened or whatever. We get so surprised, but it's like we shouldn't be surprised, because we've been literally digesting things that we don't even, you know what I mean? We don't know half the stuff that went into it. How can we be surprised at that point? They're just like somebody smoking their whole life and then surprised when they got lung cancer. You see what I'm saying? So it's like we got to be super intentional about our food source. Let me know if that's making sense in the chat. So my third point is this, right? And I kind of hit on this, but we live in a capitalist society. Profits drive everything. Hey, just recently found you on your wife channel. I'm watching from Somerville, Tennessee, 30 minutes from Memphis. Shout out to Tennessee. Appreciate you for tuning in. Appreciate you for tuning in. Right? But we live in a society that's driven by profit. We live in a capitalist society. Like I said, you have a dollar amount on your head. The powers that be already have a dollar amount on your head of what you're worth dead, what you're worth alive. You see what I'm saying? So it's like everything is driven by profit. It's profit over everything. It's profit over everything. And so knowing that, then we need to know, hey, they'll sell me whatever just to get my dollar. You see what I'm saying? Like we get mad at, you know, scammers and people in the street who will finesse you. You know what I'm saying? They'll sell you something, they'll market it as this, but then it's something totally different, or it's not what it's cracked up to be. We get mad at them, but that's just the lowest level of it, because we've been if I'm back, fam. I know my sound just cut out. Let me know if I'm back. See, I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, and I still get these scam calls, man. But let me know if y'all can hear me. Let me know if I'm back. Let me know if I'm back. Okay, I'm back. Cool. All right. Okay, cool. Appreciate that, y'all. Appreciate that. But yes, so we live in a society where everything is profit driven. Everything is profit driven. All people see when they look at you is dollar signs. Dollar signs, dollar signs, dollar signs. So we get mad at the people on the street who finesse people and, you know what I'm saying, who scam people. But literally, we're getting scammed in a legal way. We're getting scammed legally. You feel what I'm saying? Like there are loopholes and different things like to protect these, you know, a lot of these corporations and stuff. What's going on, Zion? What's going on, fam? Right? We getting scammed legally, and we not even complaining about it. We not even complaining about it. We ain't protesting. We ain't doing nothing. We just taking it. You feel what I'm saying? Because what? I say this all the time. He who has the power to feed you also has the power to starve you. So we don't want to bite the hand that feeds us. So we don't say nothing, even though we know what's going on is wrong. Well, some of us at least. Some of us don't even know. A lot of us don't even know. A lot of people don't even know that they being scammed. All they know is that, hey, you know what I'm saying? It says this, so this is what it is. They accept things at face value. But no, you are literally getting scammed. You are literally getting scammed. That's why it's important to know how to grow your own food or to ethically source your food, right? Because it's like for real, legally scam. Yeah, because this is the thing, right? Let's just say you don't have the means to grow your own food right now. Like you don't have the space for the garden. You don't have the space for the livestock and all that type of stuff. at least ethically source your food. What does that mean? How does that look, right? And that's my next point. Ethically sourced. I think that's my next point. Yeah, that is my next point. So at least know how to ethically source your food. How does that look? How does ethically sourcing your food when you can't grow it look? That looks like looking up the local farmers or homesteaders in your area, right? Joining some communities where people grow food and you know where it comes from, right? People who keep bees, okay, I know I can get honey from this person, or people who, you know, they might have a dairy farm, you know, networking, right? You can go to places like farmers markets and network with those people, get their information. You could buy directly from them. Google is free. You can Google farms in your area. What type of farms are in your area, right? You can like I said, go to farmers markets. Facebook, right? Facebook has a lot of different groups of where you can as a matter of fact, join my Facebook. It's called the Set Apart Tribe Tier 1, but it's just basically a community where we're all learning from each other, right? But you can network, man. You can network on Facebook, Instagram, whatever. But it's ways that you can ethically source your food. You got, man, I can't tell you how many signs, like just driving down the road, just passing by. Fresh eggs here, fresh eggs here. People farm, people backyard, whatever. People sell fresh eggs all the time, right? People honey, you know what I mean? Like a lot of these different things. And then like if you want like, you know, specific types of meat or whatever, you can do the same thing. Like I said, you can go to farmers markets. You can network with people on Facebook and Facebook groups and say, hey, I see you raise goat. You know what I'm saying? How can I get, you know, fresh goat meat from you? Like the guy who was just on the live, right? He said, how can I get fresh goat meat, right? If you don't know how to get it, you know, network with somebody who knows how to get it. You feel what I'm saying? And we just have to be intentional. If we can't grow it, if we, like I say, you don't have the means, at least ethically source it so you will know, okay, hey, yeah, I'm eating this goat, but I know where it came from. I know, you know, I know, okay, it came from this person farm and this person homestead, so I know that it didn't travel through 10 hands before it got to me. You see what I'm saying? I'm cutting out the middleman. We cutting out the middleman. You feel what I'm saying? Or you can order, there's a lot of companies too that offer ethically sourced food. Now, of course, you're gonna have to do your research and different things like that, but there are companies that do that they can offer you, you know, these, you know, fresh meat, you know, fresh produce, all this type of stuff. There are companies that do it, but just when you're picking out a company, make sure you do thorough research. Ain't going to work anyway. We need the whole world to wake up at the same time. Yep. You seen Yaki Awaken? No, what happened? What happened with Yaki Awaken? I mean, I know who he is if that's what you're asking. But yeah, so like, if you can't grow it, ethically source it. But I suggest everybody at least try to grow something. Like you can start in a container garden. You feel what I'm saying? Like you don't gotta have a lot of space to just, you know, grow a little bit of things. He got his land now. Oh, okay. Shout out to Yaki Awaken. Yeah, I be watching some of his videos sometime. You know, just when it comes, because that brother's very knowledgeable, especially when it comes to health and a lot of these different things, supplements you can take, herbs you can take, very knowledgeable. But again, like even if you got a standard size backyard, because I'm not saying you gotta raise all or grow all your food that you eat, just at least learn how to grow something. Like, hey, even if you don't have space to start growing vegetables or keeping livestock, and I talked about this yesterday, pick up a fishing pole, go fishing. Like that's a way that you can ethically source, you know, a meat source, which is fish. Learn how to hunt. You can go buy you a rifle, learn how to hunt. You know, because that way at least you can have some sort of you know, ethically sourced meat, sourced food. You know what I'm saying? You go fishing, you might catch 15, 20 fish. You just fillet them or have you do it, throw them in the freezer. You know what I mean? Now you have fresh fish that you know where it came from, instead of this you know, stuff you go buy from the frozen section where it probably was farmed in China somewhere. So you telling me a fish that's been farmed in China, they finna bring it all the way to the US, right? And that's supposed to be healthy for us? I know, right? I ain't seen him in a long time. He lost a lot of weight. Yeah, I saw that. I love fishing. Yes, me too. I love fishing, man. I love fishing. But yeah, that's a simple way where you could just start, you know what I'm saying, fishing, hunting. Even if, like, you don't got the space to farm and all that type of stuff, keep livestock, hey, at least learn how to fish. At least learn how to hunt. You know what I'm saying? Look up if there are, you know what I'm saying, community gardens in your area. What's going on, Judah? What's going on, Judah? Peace, fam. You know, just see if there are community gardens in your area where you can go out and volunteer your time, you know, and work in this community garden and be able to, you know, harvest some of the vegetables and take it home. You know, like it's ways to do stuff. Like, you don't always got to just be full force with it, you know, full-fledged with it. You farming, homestead. No, Start just ethically sourcing your food, and at the very least, start looking at these ingredients. When you go, like you going down each aisle, the stuff that you throw in your cart, make sure before you throw it in your cart, you do your due diligence and look on the back of it and say, man, I didn't know it had all this. If the ingredients list is this long for a cracker, then you probably shouldn't be eating that cracker. if the ingredients list is this long for a chip, you shouldn't be eating that chip. For a Hot Pocket, you shouldn't be eating it. Pizza roll, you shouldn't be eating it. You seeing all these different words you can't even pronounce. If you can't pronounce these words of these ingredients that's in your food, you shouldn't be eating it. If you don't know what it is, if you don't know how it's been sourced. Because I want to say it was like some artificial flavorings. Like I want to say it was like the strawberry artificial flavoring. They're saying like that they get that flavoring from like a animal's man. I forget. I want to say it was like a beaver tail or something like that. But yeah, they was like that. This is how they get this artificial flavoring. They get it from an animal. They get it from a part of an animal that you probably wouldn't even eat or even think about eating it. But they get this artificial flavoring from it, and it's in your oatmeal. Like something as simple as oatmeal. You like, man, I thought oatmeal, it's a grain. You know what I'm saying? And then you thinking the little flavor and the little strawberries or the little blueberries, it's just dried fruit. No, it's more to it than that. Anything that says artificial flavoring, man, you gotta really do your research and seeing like where do they get the artificial flavoring from. Why do I need artificially flavored strawberries or blueberries, whatever? Why do you need to artificially flavor that? Can't you just go and get the flavoring from the real fruit, from the real vegetable? You see what I'm saying? So like, it's just stuff like that, man. See y'all later, fam. The child just got home. All right, thank you for tuning in, fam. Thank you for tuning in, Zion. But yeah, so like, if you can't grow it, at least ethically source it. Because I'm telling you, like, we don't know what they put in this stuff, man. We don't know what they put in this stuff. And this is my last point, right? Because I'm about to get up out of here too. This is my last point. When you eat real food that is freshly grown, that you've ethically sourced, that you've grown yourself, you can taste the difference in it. Like, you can taste the difference in beef that has been, sourced ethically. You know what I'm saying? You know where it comes from. You know where the farm that it comes from, all that type of stuff. Versus, you going to the store and just getting a steak. You could taste the difference, right? One of the main things, especially like with goat meat, lamb meat, because I butcher a lot of that myself. I can taste the difference from like a leg of lamb that I've butchered myself from versus one that I bought from the store. You can literally taste the difference. And a lot of times, especially people who are so addicted to processed foods and foods out the store, they won't like the taste of fresh food when they first get it, because they say it tastes too wild or too gamey. But that's what you literally should be looking for. After 30 plus years in the grocery store, I know you're right. Okay, yeah, see? You see what I'm saying? So I ain't making this up. Christian Holloway say whole food. Yes, whole food. Eat whole foods. Eat foods that don't have a lot of ingredients in it. Simple foods, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, man, this processed food is going to be the death of a lot of us if we're not careful. It's already been the death of a lot of us. A lot of our people are perishing because of these processed foods. You see what I'm saying? These chemicals, right? Like, man, we don't know what, like we're just finding out the long-term effects of a lot of these different preservatives and stuff like that. We're just finding it out because a lot of this stuff is fairly new. And when I say new, I mean like, 40 years, 50 years, like, because you got to think a lot of our grandparents, when they grew up, the food source, it was a lot cleaner. The food was a lot cleaner back then. Then a lot of times, a lot of them had gardens and stuff like that, and they a lot of times butchered their own food. But even the food that you would buy in the grocery store back then was a lot cleaner than what you get right now. And that is because of large-scale monopolized operations that have taken over our food source. A lot of pesticides that have been used, herbicides that have been used, chemicals that have been used to grow and cultivate and to, make a lot of these different crops grow bigger and faster. You feel what I'm saying? Perish for lack of knowledge. Exactly. I'm gonna put you in timeout. Whoever said 6 or 7, I'm gonna put you in timeout. But yeah, so when you you in timeout. But when you literally have eating food like that's fresh, even vegetables, like you could taste the difference in like, vegetables that you grow out of your garden. And tell me if I'm telling the truth, those of you who have grown your own vegetables or have harvested your own chicken or lamb or goat or whatever. Like, let me know if you had this similar experience where you could taste the difference in the food that you've grown, in the food that you've ethically sourced. Let me know in the chat down below. Let me know, because like I can taste when something is fresh. You see what I'm saying? And I actually prefer that taste. I actually prefer what people call wild or gamey. I actually prefer that because at least I know it's real. At least I know it's real. I rather because I mean, like, man, we don't even, like I said, we don't know what real food tastes like. Hey, just got the notification for your live. Don't know how long you've been on, and yes, you can absolutely taste the difference in homegrown. Exactly. But yes, you can taste the difference in homegrown, like even fish. Like for instance, like let's just say you go and buy a fillet of fish out the at the store, just regular fish, whether it's whiting, whatever, versus one that you caught yourself. You could taste the difference. You could taste it because, again, we don't know the preservatives and different things that has been used to preserve this, and that takes away a lot of that flavor. That takes away a lot of that, the natural flavors that's within it. And like I said, a lot of people, when they start eating fresh food for the first time, they don't like it because it tastes like real food, and we're not used to real food. We're used to eating fake food. Like, let's just be honest. We are used to eating fake food in this country. We're used to eating stuff we don't even know where it came from. That's the craziest thing to me. You talk about the literal thing that is sustaining your life, the food that is sustaining your life. You don't even know, where it comes from, where it's been derived from. You don't know what's in it. Like, come on, man, we got to do better. We got to do, at least, like I said, at the very least, ethically source your food. Meaning, look at these labels, look at how it's marketed. Do some research on these companies and these brands and see which ones is the best ones if you can't grow your food right now. But we need to grow our food, though. We do. We need to start growing our food, or at least some of it. Like, you ain't got to grow 100% of it, but try to grow the main vegetables that you eat. Try to grow some peppers and some leafy greens, you know what I'm saying? And have a few chickens in the back for eggs. That's another thing. Even the eggs, you could taste the difference in fresh eggs versus eggs you buy, that's been sitting on the shelf. You could taste the difference. Y'all just bless me and my husband. Ain't your neighbors. Appreciate that. But yeah, so like, man, we gotta do better. That's all. Because I went down this whole little rabbit hole today, man, on TikTok, and I was just like, wow, and I'm glad. Like I said, I've been doing this, but it was just a reminder, like, hey, start being more intentional, right? Start, like, because what we're about to do, especially coming up this year, is we're gonna grow a year worth of chicken for us, for our family. You know what I mean? Like I say, you got certain breeds, like you got the Cornish Cross, you got the Red Rangers and stuff like that. I prefer breeds like the Red Rangers more so than the Cornish Cross. But hey, as long as you're growing it yourself, you know what you're feeding it, and you processing it yourself, it's still a lot healthier than a lot of this chicken you buying than most of this chicken you buying at the store. So, because I was like, I don't like the Cornish Cross breed because of how fast it grows, and they're not able to reproduce naturally. You have to artificially, like, inseminate, or not inseminate, I don't know if that's the word, but yeah, like, basically, like, you have to go through an artificial means for them to reproduce, right? I don't like eating any type of animal that can't reproduce on its own. So that's why I don't like the Cornish Cross. But hey, I'm not bashing the Cornish Cross. If that's what you want to do, by all means, raise them, because it's still healthier than what you're getting at the store. It's still gonna be healthier because the feed that you feeding it, you know what I'm saying, you've been touching it, you've been giving it water, you've been sustaining it. So at least you know that. So yes, it is healthier, but I would prefer a different breed. That's just me. Have you considered ducks? No, I don't really want to grow anything I can't eat. And I don't eat duck. That's one of my projects for spring. We've never done that, but I feel like we need to grow meat chicken. It's easy and we can do it. It is easy, just iffy over the processing part. Yeah, that can be especially for people who, you know what I'm saying, like you don't have the stomach for it. I can definitely understand that. You know what I mean? That's why I say some things ain't for everybody, right? It ain't meant for everybody to really process their own meat, right? But if you can do it, I recommend it. You know what I mean? And once you do it the first time, it gets easier. You see what I'm saying? Like, you might not have the stomach for it, but you can develop the stomach for it over time. Like, you can be so used to it, because you got to think, like, I mean, a lot of the stuff that we're not used to, we learn to adjust. So why can't we do that with our food source? I'm in California, and that's what I see coming up more lately. What do you mean, as far as people growing their own food and raising their own meat and stuff? But yeah, like we literally adjust to every other thing that's uncomfortable. We have adjusted to things that are not normal and natural, right? So why can't we adjust and overcome when it comes to, you know, processing our food? You know what I mean? But yes, definitely homegrown is better. You could taste the difference, and like I said, at least you have the peace of mind that you know what you're putting in your body. We have to take that very seriously, what we're putting in our body, because you only get one body. You only get one body, man. Once this body start breaking down and start messing up, you don't get another one. You know what I'm saying? So that you got to take care of this body. You got to treat it like a temple, and put the best things in it, and know what you're putting inside of it. Better than starve. I don't want anyone controlling my food if I can help it. Exactly. I don't want nobody controlling my food source. I don't want nobody controlling nothing of you know, basic necessities. You know what I'm saying? That I can do myself. I don't want nobody controlling that, right? But it's a journey, man. We all on a journey. You might be at a different point, you know what I'm saying? You might not be as, you know, where you got the homestead, but you're kind of getting the mindset, you know what I mean? Wherever you're at, just make the step in the right direction. No matter how big or small that step is, whether you just starting to read the ingredients now, you're picking the best brands. That's still progress. That's still healthier than what was the alternative. So any sign of progress is good. I encourage it all. Also, thank you for the states that are safe to farm and move to. Yes, most definitely, yes. I have a list coming out, specifically for black people, as far as international countries and stuff that are, you know, good to move to if you want to buy farmland and farm and homestead and all that type of stuff. Because I just did one, you know, just an overall list, but that was for everyone. But I'm gonna do one specifically that are countries that are friendly to black people as well. But yeah, so yeah, like, let's get intentional about our food, man. Let's get intentional about what we put in our bodies. Let's start treating our bodies better. I guarantee you, when you treat your body good, it's gonna thank you in the long run. And look, I ain't saying I'm perfect, but I'm just saying, like, as these revelations come to me, I'm gonna bring them to y'all, because like, we all in this together. Like, a lot of people think, oh man, you know, it's just me. No, it's all of us, man. They don't care about none of us. They don't care about none, like the powers that be don't care about any one of us individually. You know, people might think, oh, well, you know, they favor this race over the other. And in certain instances that is true, but overall, man, the goal of the system is for everybody to be slaves and be bound by the system. So the quicker we learn that, and we're not divided, you know what I'm saying, so they can divide and conquer, then we know, you know what I'm saying, like, okay, let's all work together to, you know what I'm saying, to make sure that we'll be able to live long lives, healthy lives. You see what I'm saying? Prosperous lives. So yeah, man, that's what it's about. It's about community, man. Y'all check out my Set Apart Tribe Tier 1. It's a free Facebook group. We about to start, you know, doing Q&As and, like, you know, interactive panels on Zoom and stuff like that, if that's something that you would like to see. So y'all check that out. And then check out the merch too, man. Check out our merch. We got all type of merch. Check out our website. You know what I mean? And go buy a shirt. Go support the channel. And let God keep using you. I appreciate it. But yeah, I'm gonna let y'all go ahead, get back to it. I just want to come to y'all with that. October is wrapping up, you know what I mean? So I got a few more days. I'm gonna be going live every day for the rest of October. You know what I mean? So if y'all got any type of topics y'all want to talk about that we haven't covered already, drop a comment down below, and then we'll talk about it. But yeah, man, like I always say, he who has the power to feed you also has the power to starve you. See y'all on the next one.